Hi everyone, I'm Andy Traska and I'm going to be doing my public relations audit on Fleming's Prime Steakhouse and Wine Bar. So first thing, I'm going to go through their executive summary, which is pretty much what and who Fleming's is, how they operate, and what their purpose are. So Fleming's fine dining establishment is a part of the Bloomin' Brands chain. It was Fleming's itself was founded in 1998 in Newport Beach, California. Their founder is Paul Fleming and Bill Allen, and they currently are at 16 locations over 28 states, and they actually have one in Brazil. The Bloomin's brand Incorporated owns Outback, Carrabba's, Bonefish Grill, kind of the ones you always see. Actually, about 1,400 restaurants with about 93,000 team members, which is substantial. And pretty much the restaurant industry itself, its main purpose is to tend to the people while they enjoy their free time. People go to a restaurant because it's their time off, they leave work, they're out with their kids or out with their family, out with their friends, and they want to relax and have a great meal or have a great experience. So public relations within Fleming's vision statement is the vision was to create a unique steakhouse experience with an emphasis on generous hospitality, an inviting atmosphere, and the very finest USDA prime beef. In addition to inspired service and expertly prepared prime steaks, our founders focused on an exceptional selection of wines for our guests to explore. And pretty much the expectations are when providing upscale dining at a price, you must also provide upscale service, which Fleming's does great at. So pretty much how they meet their standards is their chic upscale decor, their highly trained staff, their USDA meat, and their finest wines. And how it's carried out is training their employees. Fleming's #1 thing is making sure that their employees are adequately trained. People choose to come to the restaurant to spend their fine-earned dollars there, and the executives of Fleming's realize that, and they want to make sure that every time they walk into a Fleming's, they are getting the best possible experience. Another thing they do is they do direct contact advertisement, which means is they reach out to their repeat customers. They believe that the way they're going to get their money and how they're going to survive is they keep getting repeat customers. So that's what they focus on the most. Another thing they do is special events, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and then also the reward system. So I'm going to jump into a SWOT analysis here. So basically, their strengths are they have their highly trained staff, their high quality food, their outstanding customer service. But when it comes to their weakness, and I put staff again, it's because when people go to a restaurant and they're spending their money there, they're expecting a high quality service and a high quality experience. But staff can have off days. It could be a bad day for the chef. Things happen, and that can affect someone's opinion of the establishment. So when people are like, oh, let's go to Fleming's, and they have a bad experience there, they're gonna say, well, I'm never going to Fleming's again. I'm going to Ruth's Chris from now on. So this is definitely part of a weakness and something that we need to make sure we can get under control. Another thing is ratings. With the establishment of Yelp and Google reviews, everyone's rating, and when you have that customer that had that bad experience, and certain Fleming's in certain areas start to have bad ratings and they go down, it's really going to tarnish that, and they might not survive. A bunch of opportunities for them are events. They do a lot of private events, and they do a lot of special events for their members. To-go option is another great thing that's going on, especially right now in COVID-19. Businesses remaining open to do to-go options, so people can still get the steaks that they love in the place they love. Outdoor dining, most Fleming's, not all of them, have an outdoor dining option. And it's allowing them, even in some of the stricter states, to still continue to just serve their public and serve their loyal customers. And they can continue to do that if things still progress. When it comes to threats, obviously COVID-19 is a threat to everyone right now, and it has major effects on everyone right now. And then another threat is there's similar chain steakhouses. Those Ruth's Chris, those Morton's, those Stony Rivers are always going to be pushing against each other, and they're always going to be fighting. If you have a high populated area, you're going to have a few of those steakhouses right next to each other. I mean, if you look at Nashville on West End, you have Fleming's right there, and you drive 2 minutes down the street, and you have Ruth's Chris. There's always going to be that threat of another steakhouse trying to compete with you, and you even drive down farther, and you have Morton's. So when talking about public relations, you have to dive into the different types of publics, and that's what I'm going to do here. Obviously, your producers, your enablers, your consumers, and your limiters. And so your producers are your executives, your upper level managements, and then obviously your regular employees and your front of house. Actually, their front of house staff age range is between 18 to 60. So every time you walk into a Fleming's, you're going to see different people. You're going to see different ages, and you're going to hear different stories from different people. You obviously have your enablers, which is your upper class people who are going to they're going to eat at Fleming's Law, and they're going to tell people, or they're going to bring people to Fleming's. They're going to kind of start the trend. And then obviously you have your consumers, which is your upper middle to regular middle class people who are going to go there for an event, for a birthday, for a date night. Because you're not really going to see lower to lower middle class people, because when you're paying $70 per plate, they might go to Fleming's, but it's not going to be on a regular basis. It might be for a birthday or an anniversary. It's not. They're not going to be regular customers. And then of course you have your limiters. Your limiters again are these rival steakhouses that are trying to kind of limit all the publicity and everything in your outreach. So how they approach all these different publics is I'm going to tell you. So for their consumers, it's their reward program, their email system, their dining experience. When you get to the reward program, they make you want to come back. And their emails, when they're offering you coupons or they're telling you events that are coming, they're trying to get you to come back because they know you eat there. And then for your producers, it's really all about the training. It's all about making sure that executives are going through training programs, making sure they're thinking of new things and being conscious of what's going on. The front house executive training. All of their wait staff goes through very intensive training to make sure that they uphold the Fleming's motto and the Fleming's experience, and then obviously they're fine trained chefs. When it comes to their enablers, who really kind of are like the top tier, the people who are going to go there, what's important about it is you're getting feedback, you're getting communication, you're outreaching them, because these are the people that love the restaurant, they love to be there, they love the experience, and these are the people that know what's good about your place and what's bad about your place. So these are the people that you want to listen to. And then your limiters, I feel like you just really need to focus on yourself. I feel like when you have similar restaurants that are trying to limit you, you really can't focus on what they're doing. You just have to try to perfect whatever you're doing. And then when it comes to the public relations activities, there's the three. There's the projects, the programs, and the campaigns. I'm going to go over those real quick. So for projects, there's private dining events. So Fleming's allows you to offer 30 to 60 people private rooms that you can have an event there, a graduation, a large birthday, an anniversary, whatever you please. And usually these are people. This is the first time people get to go to Fleming, so this is their first Fleming experience. So what's important about these is when conducting these kind of large private dining events, is that you need to make sure that every single person, even if it's their first time, is getting that Fleming experience, because that's how you make your next potential customer. That's how they become a repeat. That's what you need to keep doing to instill the values and to make people want to come back. And then another great project they did was a partnership event, and I think they should do more of these. Was the David Yurman Valentine's Day event. What they did during Valentine's Day was you were able to buy a package, and it would get you a prefixed menu from Fleming's, and you'd also get a David Yurman piece of jewelry, which is phenomenal because David Yurman is a fine jeweler, and you can get great things. And I think they should continue to do this with other brands, like they do for Camus and wines and certain whiskeys. So for programs, one thing they do is they do the reward program, and that's a program that's through the Bloomin' brand. So essentially what it is that if you spend $20 or more on a meal, you get a qualified meal. And if you spend if you have 3 qualified meals, you get 50% off your next meal. So if you're constantly eating at Fleming's, a couple times a week or a couple times a month, that $50 off that 50% off that meal is beneficial, absolutely. And then what happens is you get into their Magnum Club, and what the Magnum Club is you get immediate seating, you get your choice table, choice server. You're pretty much treated like an absolute VIP. But the thing is that it's not really well talked about, not really well known about. It's definitely for their inner circle of Fleming's people who they're loyalist customers, but you get absolute ridiculous benefits. And then finally, I'm going to talk about some of their campaigns. So recently, they had a partnership with Roger West, who owns a design company, and his people went in and did a complete rework of their website. They changed all the colors. They made sure that what they were putting out was reflecting the Fleming's brand. And here's a good look at it real quick. And then, so finally, for my recommendations for what I would suggest they would do, I think a great place to start right now is online and TV advertisements. I think, especially in today's climate, I think you need to kind of pull out all the stops, even though you're spending overhead on advertising. I think putting your name out there, because people aren't going to go out there. People aren't going out very much. So when they choose to go out, they're going to want to pick one place, and they're going to really think about it. So making sure that you're putting that Fleming's name in people's head, so when they choose to go out, or even those local customers who are finally getting out for the first time, you want to make sure the first place you're going back to is Fleming's. I think another thing to do is start doing some local campaigns, start getting in certain areas, start trying to contribute to certain programs going on. So if there's a financial there's a charity, make sure that they are getting themselves in there and they are working hard and they're getting their name out there, so people think, oh, Fleming's is doing really good work, we should think about going there our next time we go out. And I think another great thing is to rework the Magnum Club. I think getting a little more outreach and kind of telling more people about it, and trying to persuade people on the benefits of trying to get to this tier of membership, I think is a great idea. I understand that you want the exclusivity of the club, but I think it's important that you try to push people to try to join it now instead of keeping it this hidden thing. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and I appreciate your time.